For recording purposes, this class is going to be on the beginning of the month analysis of the market, and as well leaps and swing trading, but with targets and all that juicy stuff, how to enter, how to exit, where you should enter and where you should exit, and things of that nature, right? It may be a part 2 class depending on how long we do an analysis, right? So I want to just start off with SPY first. Well, before I start off, let me go to the chat. My bad. I didn't trade today. That's what's up. It's always good to sit on your hands. Not stressful anymore. Anymore. Right, what was stressful? Trading day was good. That's what's up, Frank. Happy to see you. Yo, and happy birthday, Frank. Happy birthday, my love. Excuse me. Hit myself too hard. What's going on, Ray? You gonna tell me what's
Oh, okay, yeah. So
he said, oh, okay,
yeah, putting too much money on a trade and then stressing about losing it. So I'll make my trade smaller and more smarter. So have my stops where I need to have them, and not hoping and praying that the shit, when it gets to 50% that it turns. So I got sooner and I'm more patient. And if I lose it, it's not, I just do better managing the money that I put in on every trade.
yeah. That's good, bro. So it's not stressful anymore. I got you anymore now. Anymore, like meaning like
every time I was looking for a home run.
Yeah, it's your journey. I was thinking you're talking about like it ain't stressful anymore right now since the market was closed.
No, 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 just my my managing the trades better.
Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna always help when you start to manage your trades. And managing your trades, I'll start off like this because you said a few things. Well, sizing correctly, right? Putting like as much money as you're putting, or if you have to size down and put less, that's always good to evaluate that, right? Because sometimes even though you got a good strategy or something of that nature, doesn't mean that your tolerance is there, right? Because you may want to make those big bucks, right? But can you endure the pain, right?
Right.
And I'm just trying to talk from like I always talk from experience, but like what I feel like you may be feeling, you know what I'm saying? But I'm assuming as well. But one thing I do know about trading is like you have to you gotta love pain to be able to trade because it is painful, you know what I'm saying? And you're more than welcome, Frank. More than welcome. I got the chat open. I see you, my brother. But yeah, you gotta be willing to endure pain. You know what I'm saying? So like even if that's why sometimes like I tell people like, just go to a hardship in your mind that you had before or something that you had to overcome. And remember how at the moment it didn't seem easy. It felt like a world was gonna end, you know what I'm saying? In your mind at that moment, but you got through it and you came out better. You know what I'm saying? So me, even with trading, I know that like when I'm down, I just don't panic. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because like it ain't Warren Buffett. I forgot who I saw online, but what I heard was if you bought something and you see yourself always like not non-profitable, always jumping out of the trade, only because it went down, you need to reevaluate your emotions. That's something that I'm just picking up out of like what I heard, but that's part of what I heard. you would need to reevaluate your emotions. Why? Because the rest of that statement was, I'm trying to remember. If you see yourself getting in and out of a trade, losing, and then you're getting out because it's going the opposite direction, right? You have to remember, like, what was, like, even when you're about to get out, like, what was my plan? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, granted, that guy that I heard is speaking on like long term. Like if you bought a good company, you know the company's not going anywhere. Just because the price went down doesn't mean that you need to get out of your position. You know what I'm saying? You did it for a longer period of time. But let's say for day trading or even if it's scalping, I'm always remembering my plan. I know that I'm only human and that I can forget my plan. So I buy time. And I've embedded that in my trading. Like, you know, if the theta is anywhere between $10 or higher on that weekly, I'm going to stay away from it because I'm going to buy multiple of them. You know what I'm saying? And even if I was going to buy one and it's saying that my premium is $30, that's a no-go for me. If the market opens up at the same price, you taking $10, my guy, off of each contract. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be, you have to remind yourself before you get out that trade, why did I do this? So now, if you see yourself and you know, hey, I'm down like 50%, man, I'm on a weekly contract, like your thoughts will go quick and you start thinking about it. That's when you, okay, cool. Before you get out, you're going to get out because you know, hey, no, it's a weekly contract. You overstand it. Man, I should have bought time right there. You're going to have that thought. I should have bought time. I'm going to get out this trade, Ray, right? I'm going to just use you since I was talking to you. I'm going to get out this trade. And for me to continue to trade, I'm going to buy time. I do not care that the weekly will pay me more money, or not really, will pay me more of a percentage, right? Because it depends on the contract that you choose. Get away from the percentage. You know what I'm saying? You want a dollar amount, and not only a dollar. The reason I say a dollar amount is because that fits in to my nature, to my rules, right? Of trading. Like, what's going on? 11 bang bang. Let me see. You want me to lower your hand? I don't know if you did it. If you're trying to raise your hand, bro. Okay. Then I kind of forgot what I was talking about. But appreciate you, 11 bang bang. So look, let's go to the chart analysis, right? So first, I'm gonna keep my RSI because that's how I trade. Let's go ahead and boom. I'm gonna delete all these lines just because it can throw you off, right? Because you want to just focus on the price action, right? And we're gonna start off from a 3-month time frame. Why, Moody? I don't know, because I want to. Why am I starting off with a 3-month time frame? Because we're still in the quarter, right? You see how I ask myself questions? Like I wasn't even being funny. I was like, why? Like trying to help you guys, and my brain answered it. Let me go and chat. Welcome. Grandson got my laptop, bro. He's all good. My grandson was trying to help Moody, bro. Tell him Moody said what's up, bro. So we're gonna start here from the 3-month time frame, right? So it's a quarter time frame, a quarterly time frame, right? So with that being said, we know we started this in July because I've been talking about that for quite some time. I keep talking about it, but I believe everybody started to be like aware of it in July, right? So we're still pushing nicely, right? On top of that, we're pushing nicely, right? This is just, I'll go on to anything else, but we're just gonna stick on SPY for right now. We took out the target already, right? Target, always look at the highs. When I'm talking about a target and I'm on the candlestick doing this, you can see what I'm looking at, but you can also just always look right here because you're going to see the price that I'm talking about, right? So that's 457.83. right? It took out its target. On top of that, it took out its target. What I'm going to look for now, I'm going to draw the line so you can be able to see it. But before I do, this is why you want to have this chart, this thing turned on, right? And for anybody that may not have, I'll just call this thing turned on. It's just I don't know the actual name of what it's called. I think it's last price. Yeah, it's last. It's called last, right? On the price line, last. You want to have that turned on, right? Because it's gonna let you know exactly where the price is at, wherever the market, any stock that you're on, it's gonna let you know exactly where that price is at right now, right? So when I go to the left, right, I'm going to start looking for supports, right? So this dotted line is already showing me that I'm over support, but I know that you won't see it because I have to tell you that it's this red candlestick here, right? This pin bar. It's over the closing price, right? And I was explaining that a little early, I believe either on live or it could have been yesterday's class. My days are running together. But I remember explaining that, right? So it was last night. Matter of fact, no, it was today with Luther online. So right here is what I'm going to be looking for. And what I say looking for is I'm looking for this price, right now, literally right now, any time frame that I go, the price action right now being above this line, because that is going to be my next support. What I mean from that is after this big move right here, after this big move, the next level up is this move, right? So you can see that we're already like testing to try to get out of this range, right? I would just say like these two candles are inside of this range, right? So it's breaking out. That's how you have to look at this, right? It's trying to break out. And why do we say that? Because we can come to a smaller time frame and even see from this 3-month time frame how I try to test and go all the way back over there, right? It already tried to test, came back under, and did the test even slower, right? We want to see things like that. And I'll show you like this is like a buy signal. But I'll show you this on a smaller time frame. Just if I forget, somebody say, hey, Moody, you was going to show us like a buy signal, just like on candlesticks on a smaller time frame. So long story short, how I'm gonna show you two different ways. And it's not two different ways, I'm gonna show you two different things, right? You're seeing that we left this range already, right? Because this is the range that we're truly playing. Why am I saying that? One, because we can see that the price is over the meat and potatoes. That's why. It's not just because it's that wick. I care less about that, right? I care about this, right? Because all this was just price action is not really there. It really isn't there. But to a smaller time frame, it's there. But it's there because it's subjective. They don't have 3 months to like let you see what truly happened, right? They have to, every minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, they gotta like break down the bars just because of time. So before I move forward, does everybody understand what I'm saying right now, right? Because I don't want to move forward and somebody's lost. Because I'm giving a market analysis and I know that you'll take this and start doing this with different stocks and it's going to help you. Well, I appreciate you. Yes, yes, yes. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I should have said drop a Y or something in the chat. All right, cool. If you don't, drop a no in the chat or an N in the chat. All right, cool. So we're out of this range, right? We're truly playing this range, right? So there's two things that you can do with it. You can put this literally to the body of the candlestick, right? Because that's what we truly want, but we know we're gonna get that wick, right? But that's the move that you want. Meaning when we saw a price like this and coming in, breaking this and coming inside of this, right? That's what we were looking for. Like, all right, cool. And we're staying over that support, over that green line. You can see it's flush basically with that, with the white line, right? So with us seeing that, us understanding that, these levels are going to be extremely important to the smaller time frame, right? Now, to be able to hit these levels, before I even start going to a small time frame or anything, for us to hit these levels on the smaller time frames, and I would say like the hour, the 4 hour cannot be overbought. If it's overbought, it has to pull back before trying to hit those levels on any chart that you're on. That's just, I'm just showing you how I read the RSI, right? I don't know how to get you to see how I read the RSI because I've like done plenty of classes on it, but I'm gonna get better at like doing it different. But that's one thing that I will mention as well. If your RSI is overbought in the chart, like is like, say if it was overbought right now, not overbought, oversold right now on an hour, 4 hour is going to go up. We already know that. I've showed it. You can back test it. It's going to push this price even higher, right? Because this is not overbought yet at all, right? So this is going to move extremely slow, extremely slow. You won't see this move really until 3 months, right? And the only thing that you'll truly see with this is like if we had a strong move down, you'll see it go like, and if it goes right back up, you'll just see it. It'll stay in the same place, but it'll go right back up. All right, so now moving away from this time frame, we all know the range. That's your target that is going for up here, right? 450, 479, 90, 479, 98, right? That's the true target that is going for, right? Because I know I keep talking about, well, it's probably this 50% retracement. Nah, it's almost a 50% retracement, but it's just a little bit under it, right? It's a 462 level, right? But that makes sense being right under that 50% retracement. So I'm gonna leave it like this because this is nice and tight. But you can always just do a double one and draw another one down here. So like when you go to the smaller time frames, you can see like, okay, cool, this is where my range where I can almost go all the way down, right? And I'll leave it for now. It's just gonna confuse me. If it starts to look a little weird, I'm gonna delete it. And I could just show y'all that later. But look, you can always remember the bottom of that level is when it started rounding out, right? Is the bottom of it, is the bottom of the round. The inside of it is like a cup. That's when it did that, right? So I'm gonna delete this one. And I'm sorry, because sometimes I don't I'll be talking about the strat, but I may start talking about it so you don't get confused. Is it 2 up right now, right? These are 2 continuations. These are nothing on the 3-month time frame or even higher. I'll go to 6 months before I even say that. Yeah, everything already reversed, right? It's like the price action reversed too, like you see the morning star, but as soon as it went 2 down, 2 up, right? So in January, we reversed, right? For that 6 month, not January that month, because we fell from 480. So coming down to the 3-month time frame, you'll see that we're on a continuation to the upside, right? So the trend is up. When you know that, right? There's no reason, like that's why I don't really be short in the market. Yeah, I'm doing things to make myself better, but there's really no reason to be short in the market. Coming down to your monthly time frame, right? You're gonna see all this rounding out. So like what you want to look for, like if you know what I'm saying, trading the strat, because the price action, you're going to be looking at the whole pattern. You're going to be looking at what's going on right now, and this is a monthly candlestick. So like all you should really care about is like really these 3 candles, and you got your support, your range, you know what I'm saying, your bounces, like everything I teach. And the next class I'm gonna put all of it together is my beginner's chart class. So long story short, on the strat, what you want to be looking for is that you have, right, this 2 up, 2 down, that reverse back down. As soon as you had this 2 down right here, even though it's green, 2 up, that was your reversal right here. Boom, boom. This doji Remember I spoke about it last time. It throws off any reversal, but this is a 3 month, this is a monthly time frame. So even though we got that 3 bar, our job is to go to a smaller time frame and check out the Browning formation and see what's the direction that it's truly wanting to head, right? Before this month closes or anything, right? Because 9 times out of 10, it opened right here. No, it did open right here, but we pushed up first, then came all the way down, right? Or yeah, regardless of the fact, it doesn't matter if it pushed up first. We had a 2 up and then it went 3 down, then went up. And I can tell just by how the candlestick is. You know what I'm saying? It's not because it's a doji or anything, it's because of the opening price right here versus this closing price. So long story short, your true reversal comes into here, 3, 2, 2 up, right? Anything that does not break this level is not reverse down. There's no reason to try to, right here, there's no reason to try to be short in SPY, right? Like unless you're intraday time, like intraday or anything of that nature, right? So we'll close this out. We'll come over to the 2-week. This is one of my favorite time frames, right? We're inside for the week, but we already know this, right? And let me tell you that so you can understand. These time frames are going to be the same thing, right? Because the month just opened up. So this is why we love time frame continuity, because as soon as it tells us that it's going to stay over its opening price, we know to buy calls. You know what I'm saying? It's a fact. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it loses that opening price, we know to short down. And for you to find targets, of course, the smaller time frames, but your target should be this 50% retracement, so a little under this, right? Leaving the range, and that's going to scare one, right? Leaving the range to just go bounce around 448.35, right? But your true target is going to be the low of this candle, and it's going to be 437.06, right? And this is how strat traders trade. In regards to the fact, as they're going down, they either take profits or they add to their positions, right? Even if they bought one contract, it's going down, they're going to buy 3 more. Okay, it's going my direction, how I like it, and they keep going, and then they start, how well. It just depends. Not that it's just a strat, just also depends on the trader that you are, right? Because you could be wanting to add and then scale out, and scaling out what you just not what you just got in, but what you already had, right? And things of that nature. But it just all depends on how you size your positions. Now that would be like towards the downside, right? So we're just gonna travel down because I want to go and talk about other sectors and things of that nature. 2-week, everything's gonna be the same as all I was trying to show you, right? So since we know that, we can forget about all these time frames because it's gonna tell me a whole different story. This daily is going to be the same thing as your monthly, right? So it's just like what I was telling Luther on the live. As long as we stay, let me take this, stay above that level, the opening price, we're good. So 455.86, right? That's all we're looking for. Yeah, it can bounce, it can test this level, things of that nature, but bulls will lose control under that level, right? And then on top of that, we already know that if we lose this level, we lose control, right? So the monthly is going to stay here, but all of these time frames will move. All of these will move tomorrow, right? But the monthly will stay there, right? This is where our weekly had opened up, right? So it opened here and it started pushing down. Right here, right there, right there. We're going to come down just so I can help you view SPY and like what's going to go on for this week, but also like for the month. So me, I'm bullish. So I want it to continue going up, right? Reading this RSI, we have to, especially on the 4-hour, we have to either test this again, like to bounce off of it, or we have to break this, right? Now, if we break this and we lose this momentum, this is why you keep seeing SPY going up. It does not matter that you're seeing it like, oh, hold on, we were overbought, but then it started going down and things of that nature. As long as we do not lose control of this 50%, not percent, but 50 median on the RSI, that is the bull's territory. That's the uptrend, right? So under that is going to be the downtrend. If we lose that territory, right, the market is going to go down. The market is due for a correction as well, because you can see from when we bottomed out, right? This is not the bottom, but when it bottomed out right here, it was all the way back in March, right? Ever since we bottomed out, we haven't bottomed out again, right? Even when it came down here, that's like your 34 levels. This is your 30 levels, right? This is my 25. We have not bottomed out yet, right? So that's all that liquidity that's down there. On top of that, we played this for a little while, that little median. This is when it was like around those 400 levels, when it was trying to like break out, right? Right here. And that's why it looks like that, because it was just playing the median, up and down, up and down, up and down. As soon as we picked a direction, how it went up higher and breaking highs on it, it doesn't matter like that it goes down. Once it starts to pick up, anytime for bulls, when we break a 50 mark on the RSI, you want to start looking for reversals. You can look for it all the way down here, but you want to start looking for reversals. Why? Because you have to think about it like this: overbought, right? With it being overbought, it cannot go higher than that. Yes, we've seen that it can travel and it'll boom, 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 and then fall down, but it's not just gonna. You only see that on those smaller time frames, like a 1 minute, 3 minutes, even a 5 minutes sometimes, right? But it has to come back down. But you have to understand that this one is going to move slower because it's on a 4-hour time frame, right? So when it breaks this, when it comes down from here, even like I'll explain it from right here. When this happened and it goes down, as soon as it bounces, the price is not going to fall anywhere from where it broke out at. It won't, because they would have to break this and stay under it, right? Because it has to stay in the downtrend territory, right? This is how I know, like, nah, we staying bullish. All right, let's go. You know what I'm saying? And the larger, if it's a larger, bigger time frame, is going to be a bigger confirmation. I don't wait for confirmations. I make my confirmations, right? I'm just learning to speak on my trading a little bit more, where it's like, it's 12 at night, 2 o'clock in the morning. We're driving. There's no one in the road. It's so you can understand what I mean by confirmation. There's no one in the road. Word to my mother, there's a red light. I'm driving straight through that guy. I'm not stopping. There's no one outside. I'm not going to just, of course, I'm not just going to speed straight through it. I care about my life, but I'm not going to use those confirmations. The confirmations are there to keep us, I'm not going to say what I think, but us safe, right? So with them being there to keep us safe and no one's around, why am I stopping at the stop sign? I get it. Like, I get it. You know, you in your mind trying to stay safe. But you know, let's say that this is right by your house. You know this road. There's no reason for you to stop. I promise you, just start to, no, don't listen to Moody. No, never mind. No, I ain't gonna say, do not break the law, y'all. Oh my God, how dare me. Oh yeah, all right, let's get back to the trade. I need to find a different example to explain it. I know some of y'all over there are dying right now, like, oh my God, well, y'all ain't dying, y'all laughing. Let me get a break on that one. We'll be like, yo, did you just tell them to run the? Oh man. All right, cool. So I'm not trying to look, I want to explain myself. I'm not trying to tell you to break rules. I'm definitely not, man. Y'all better not be laughing. I run stop signs and lights at lights that time of the morning too. Laughing. I'm like, okay, cool, bad. You feel me? So you understand what I'm trying to say? So like, so since I have somebody that I'm not telling y'all what to do at all. So since I have someone, right? I believe this is Miss Maya. Since I have somebody to relate with, right? So when you first started doing that, Miss Maya, right? And if you're not Miss Maya, correct me, but I believe you're Miss Maya. I know you're Miss Maya.
It's me.
Yeah, that's why I said I know. But long story short, when you first started doing that, you know what I'm saying, let's be honest now. We're gonna be honest. You got a little like, not like you were scared of your life or anything, but you know that fear magnet, like, whoa, you know, like just felt like you did something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like the first few times until like you just started doing it and you're just like, the heck? All right, cool. That's all I was trying to explain. You know what I'm saying? Where when you're scared of something and you stop doing it, I'm not trying to tell you just don't follow orders. That was just the wrong way to explain what I wanted to say, right? But when you're trained to do something and you learn a better way, you'll start to you'll start to see the results that you were looking for, right? Because who's to say that this is right? You know what I'm saying? It's like hearing, yo, 90% of traders, like I really believed that at one point. Yo, 90% of traders normally fail or quit within their first year of trading. You know, I believed it because I'm like, shit, I don't make this shit along like 60 days. Stop playing, glory be to God. Ooh, stop playing with him. You know, but through my realization, it's like, nah, that's cap, that's a lie, that's fear. That's a fear to already make you scared of like, man, I don't know if I even want to try this. Like, imagine how many people don't try or enter that door because of that. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's get back to the charts. So remember the RSI. And once it breaks this and it goes down there, then you know, and it holds under this 50, right? Like even down here, this is, hey, check it out. We went for put cities, you got faked out. I don't really like using that word, but hey, it reversed on you. It is what it is. It's a probability game. It happens, but hey, guess what? It's been happening to them for a while now, right? But long story, I like making fun of these bears. But long story short, right, they have another opportunity to do so, right? But they also gave us an opportunity with higher lows, right? Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, which is a PMG to take them out. So long story short, what I wanted you to understand with the RSI, because this is going to help you to leap anything and swing anything. Once you can really visualize this and not even visualize it, you want to visualize it, but you just see it and you know it. I promise you, you're not going to be scared of trading. All right, so look, once it goes overbought, remember on smaller time frames, it shows us 5 minute, 3 minute, 2 minutes. It cannot go. It can't keep going. Like you've seen that, but so often. You know what I'm saying? So it can't keep doing that. It's not going to do that as well on a higher time frame. It has to come back down. So what are we looking for when this happens right here? We're looking for not the 4 hour. I'm teaching you the gold. It's like, well, what did my wife call that? Liquid gold. I'm giving you the liquid gold out here, man. I'm gonna let that sink in. And I'm gonna say it one more time so it can sink in. I'm gonna pause. What I'm teaching you works on every time frame and keep it for the time frame. But when I'm specifically speaking on, hey, the 4 hour, when it breaks this, it's the downtrend. Look for it on the 4 hour. Don't look for it on the hour. If you look for it on the hour, know that you're freaking day trading and intraday trading. This is for the big bucks. Like this is to tell you exactly where the trend is going to be until it goes overbought or it goes oversold. It's just going to happen like that. Real quick before I even say that, keep that in your mind. That's what I'm telling you. I'm showing it to you right here, right? As soon as it breaks, Moody showing the candlesticks. as soon as it breaks, right here, this was like breaking, retesting to come back down. As soon as it breaks, you get them big drops. Don't worry about all that drop that you supposedly missed. You follow your plan, right? Boom, you get those big drops, and it's gonna keep pouring, right? It's just like, I ain't gonna lie, even when I would have seen this green candle, I'm like, bro, I'm good. I'm taking profits. Doesn't matter. I know I'm talking on spot, but any chart, right? Because I wanted to dump. The reason you're not seeing this dump like that is because it's spot. When we move off to a different ticker, you're going to understand what I'm talking about. It's going to dump. SPY is an ETF. It has a lot of tickers inside of it, right? So even if it's dumping, and let's just say Apple and everything else is going up, but all these other stocks inside of it is going down and is having a red day, it's going to give you dojis and like hold. You know what I'm saying? Because the other part of the boat isn't sinking. So it's going to balance it out. So that's what you got to understand about these ETFs. So long story short, when we finally bottom out right here, like, look, it comes back for the retest. It can't hold above it. Look at the big, look, this is your play again. I should tell you that. I'm sorry, because you don't just have to wait for it to break. If it goes up and you're a bearish person, wait for it to go to your 50 mark on anything. Remember, this is on any time frame, right? On any time frame, right? But specifically on the 4-hour, if it doesn't hold now, because we're talking about bearish moves, if it doesn't hold up here, like what you want to see is a move like this, like, because this is how you're gonna see it live, like basically like this, like how it went up and it kind of like, you know, boom, boom, but over it, like boom, boom, the market's gonna close like that. You're gonna be good because you know it's traveling up. It's traveling up. It's not traveling back down. You know, you just came from the bottom of the RSI, so you're traveling up. You know that for a fact. Now, if it rejects, like right here, this was good. I would have got faked out as a bull, to be honest with you, right? If I would have kept swinging, I would have got faked out right here. This would have ended up breaking on me, right? On that next candle, if I would have never got out being greedy and stuff, thinking that, oh no, we're gonna reverse back up. This is your flush. This is the same flush that you was looking for when it broke right here, but it gave it to you bigger because it was a retest. So I'm gonna explain this on a smaller time frame. This was a retest. Right here. This was a retest. So boom, you get them big flushes, all these big red candles, all the way to the bottom. That's a nice flush, right? So coming over here, you want to wait. I'm gonna show you what you want to do. Like when this happens on the 4-hour, you want to wait. Let me see if I could just show you like this so I can have proof. All right, but this is still perfect because I can explain it like this. This is why, even though I'm bullish, I'm still being very cautious right now. Why? Because the RSI bottomed out, kind of, whatever. Like it's like overbought. It's in the 30 ranges. We traveled back up, and we kept going up, kept going up. I love this. The fact that that's the pullback that we want, right? But it didn't travel back up and stay like how it did this. Boom, you see this? Look, boom, like this. I got to show you the whole thing so you don't confuse. Like bottom down, right? Boom, boom. You see how it hits? Comes back down. That's beautiful. Boom. You see how it hits? That right there is going to push your price higher and higher and higher and higher. Higher, I promise you, right? So let me keep explaining it. Boom, it hits, comes back down. Boom, it hits, comes back down. You see how it goes overbought? Don't worry about, oh, that's breaking highs on it or anything. No, it's the fact that these pullbacks, man, I wish the chart can show it to me. Overstand, let me just show it to you like this. Go back to the 4 so you can see that we're over because this one's like playing with it. It's over, right? Just look at my RSI only. I'm gonna drop it down to the 30. You see this? This is called a pullback. We know the trend on the bigger time frame. The smaller ones are going to show us how to catch and ride the wave back up. This is the pullback. So all we waiting for is bounces like this. So what are we going to do? This is going to take too freaking long. Look, this is what I mean. Look, this is 3:30. Look at the time, right? Because I want you to master this. 3:30. Right here. Oh no, hold on. I messed up. I'm sorry. Look at the time and look at the date. That's at 3:30. That's the first Tuesday, right? Look how quick we get to Monday. Right there. From right here to right there. You ain't going that like what I'm teaching you. If you try to look for it right here, it's gonna take you forever to realize it. You're gonna have to see this happen. You're gonna be like, oh snap, Moody, I see what you're talking about. Right? To quicken up your learning curve, you just saw how short that is. That's your pullback, right? 5 minutes. This one's way better. Watch this. From right here, just look, don't even look at the time, just look at the date. Right? From Tuesday. Look how far back I can go on a 5 minute time frame. Remember, it stopped like right here on the 30, right? It's still the first, Stop right here. You can see it, 31st to the 1st. So I had all this to play with. That's the pullback. See how you still can't really catch it right here? What I'm explaining, catch the bottom. You're gonna find that down here. That's why you see me on a 1 minute time frame. Because look how long I have to be able to do that shit. I'm gonna have to drag the chart. You see that? Look. My setup is going to happen for me as long as I look. Monday, Tuesday, right here. Oh, I thought it was, yeah, right here. Monday, Tuesday. So from here all the way down there, look how many times I have time to, okay, bought it down here. I'm gonna sell up here or add to my position and sell more up there, right? Check it out. Regardless of the fact, if you buy it down here, doesn't matter if the price is right here. Remember, it went into the uptrend territory, so it pushed the price up a little higher. Now it's playing consolidate. It keeps pushing price higher and higher. As long as it keeps bouncing right there, it doesn't matter that it's not doing it all the way up there, it's doing it right here, and it came from a low level. You got to understand that. Look, let me show you the chart so you can be like, oh, I see what you mean, Moody. You bought down here. Right here. No, you bought it right here. And I'm not putting it right here just because it's a low. I'm putting it right there because that's where the RSI is at. You bought it right here, right? So you putting it right there, that's that low. Look when the price gets up here. Moody, delete all this so they can see. So once we get to the 50% retracement, it's like right there. You're now from 455.51, you're at 456.04, right? Now watch it play with the 50%. I'm doing all of this so it can be super quicker when I just go through the leap stuff, right? Because trust me, you're gonna see me go through it and you're just gonna think it's just a price action. I promise you, it's the RSI. It's the RSI, and I just can read the freaking charts. I know what I'm doing on the charts, but my edge is the RSI. I'm not gonna sit here and try to lie to you. The strat is amazing, it does it too, but it's the RSI. That's why you don't hear me talk bad about no indicators anymore, or hear me talk about no, this is lagging or stuff like that. Why? Because the RSI is not lagging. I know why people think it lags now. And it's because I use the 1 minute and the 3 seconds in the 1 second chart. So I know it's not, it's aggregating to its time. It's subjective to its time, right? So when he's saying that, and go to the 50%, right? This is what I mean by it pushes price higher and higher and higher. We could break it a little bit, it's gonna push price higher. Now look at your chart. Look at all that boom, 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 boom. Higher. Now you went to from 456.04. No, that's your 50. From 450 604, you went to 456.38 to 456.57, higher than where the price is at now, right? When it travels back down, look, right here. You're still in profits for 2 cents shy from your first push up, right? Let me go back to it right here. Now you push back up, you're going back up, right? Aggregate it down. This is where you would have lost all your profits if you held everything, right? Because it went right back down. It didn't go all the way to the bottom, but it went right back down. And it's in the downtrend territory, so it can push the price down further down than push the price up higher, right? So me explaining that, does everybody understand that? I'm sorry. Let me stop trying to move on. Okay, why? And if you don't. Yeah, we definitely gonna make this a part 2. I gotta see, because I know I want to do the beginner's chart class. I'll see how I do the part 2. Right, just make it a pop-up class. Wow. All right, cool. Y'all think this is fire? Because I didn't know I was gonna start it off like this. It was just gonna be straight doop. But my mom was like, they're not gonna understand that shit, Moody, if you just do that shit. All right, cool. What up, Chino? All right, cool. Bro say por favor, ya tú sabes, manito. All right, bet. So I'm gonna keep it going like this before I go to the other things. All right. So y'all understand that put side. So watch this now. And I look at it like this is like, if you see certain things like this on somebody's chart, right? If it's a strap, you understand this. You see how I'm breaking certain things down? What I eat don't make you shit. Cool. You want to subscribe to my Discord? That's amazing. I appreciate it. It's going to help us help more people, right? But understand this, when you're on social media and you see certain things on people that you deem to be professional, right? You don't see myself calling myself professional anymore because I'm not certified to trade, right? That's what a professional is. They're certified for that, right? And I don't want to mislead people. So long story short, if you, whatever your mind tells you, if you deem them to be professionals and you see certain things on their chart and they can't explain it and flip it and saute it, not that they don't know. I used to say that until like, I'm like, bro, hold on, you're in the same seat as them. They don't want to tell you that, right? So that's why I'm telling you, please, because you look at me a certain way, right? I'm very profitable, but if you take it's not even my strategy. You know what I'm saying? What I created with the RSI, like saying, hey, this is the uptrend territory, this is the downtrend territory, this is how I traded support and resistance. Yeah, I created that. I never heard nobody talk like that. I came up with that in my mind. And I even have to ask D-Wiz, like, you've been trading for like over 7 years, bro. Have you ever heard somebody say that? Because I need to find that person so I can learn more from them. It's like, no, bro, you're the only person I hear talk like that. So I'll take credit for that, right? But understand that even me, you'll learn from me. Doesn't say that you're going to stay around me. Everybody are seasoned. Some people, you end up just being around them for life or whatever. Utilize me as a stepping stone. So if you have another Discord you go to, don't forget about what you learn here. See what you know, what can you take from this person and add to your inventory. That's how you learn and you become a trader, right? Because you cannot try to trade like Moody. You can take my strategies, but the thing is, you can't take my execution, my discipline. That's not something you can explain it. You can only teach that with experience, with someone physically there seeing you and seeing your process. But a motivational thing, that's why you like not you, but people like motivational things, because you get a good rush from it. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I could do that. But are you going to do it? That's the discipline part. And that's what they're not going to tell you. It took me a long time to learn that, where it was like, oh, snap, you just learned this, implement it right now. If you don't, you're going to lose it. What do I mean by that? Anything that you've done in life, you've lost that you have not continued to practice. Dang, I forgot how to get to this place. Or dang, I forgot. Anything that the mind doesn't constantly use will lose it. Yes, you will have, it's in your DNA. So you're going to you're going to remember certain things of it. You're going to have memories, you know what I'm saying? But not to say you'll remember the whole entire process and how to do that, right? My bad, I was a little long-winded, right? So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So long story short, now I want to show it to you in the bullish way, right? So right here, and it's so easy to find because once you know, like, oh, this is when it gets bullish, when it hits, when it finally hits the bottom, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna see it hit the bottom a whole bunch of times, but when it finally hits that bottom, like even right here, this was bullish, got bullish, right? So when it came back down right here, this is where it really gets bullish whenever we break the 50 mark, right? So I'm gonna come straight here, bow. Now, before I start going and showing and going crazy, I'm gonna show you why I started to fall in love with certain patterns, right? Bull flags, started to love them. Why? Because they're breakouts. Bull flags are not something to want to be like, oh, I trade bull flags and da 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 da, unless you are disciplined. You don't be seeing Jordan, how he be puts his thing, oh, when it breaks this, I'm getting in. Because that's the rule. Not only the rule, that's to keep you safe. Because you end up buying that high and coming back down to that support in that channel. So if you're going to play that because you're risky and you can't control yourself, play support to resistance. Always buy low to sell high, right? Because you know from that low, it's just like any support and resistance. The flags are going to be support and resistance as well. Look. And I'm not going to go too deep into it because in the beginning, with the beginner's chart class, I'm putting all of this stuff together, right? And this is a bull flag, but it's really a bull pendant. And the reason why is because you got higher lows and higher lows and lower. It's not lower high. You got higher lows. I should be saying it the wrong way, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. So
higher high and higher lows.
Nah, we don't got higher highs. We got higher lows.
Oh, right.
And lower highs.
Lower highs.
Yep. Higher lows and lower highs. That's how you say it. Right. So long story short, these are continuation patterns. And that's why, like, even when you go back to my class, you'll see like why I label them like, reversal patterns, continuation patterns, right? Because bull flags will always be found inside of a cup and handle. Cup handle. Always. The patterns make the patterns, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't catch the pole of the bull flag, right? Let me draw it out because I know some people may not be able to see it. If you don't catch this pole, you want to wait for the breakout, or you want to buy anything down here. Anything down here because it's going to play support and resistance. Support and resistance, you know what I'm saying? So, or you wait for the channel break. Once it starts to break the channel, you get in your trade, right? And always remember, wherever you break out at, you see? So it's just people that are not patient, right? Because they just see the market moving and stuff like that. But once you know, like this is where you broke out at, this is where it's going to bounce at. You see it, it's just going to happen every freaking time. It's just market structure. It has to do that. It's how price aggregates. You just have to learn to be patient. Patient doesn't mean, I got to wait a day, I got to wait a week, I got to wait this. Patient means wait for your setup or wait for what you know it's right, not what you believe, right? Because you don't believe you have parents, you know you have them, right? So wait for what you know always is successful, right? And I wouldn't say always successful, it's just a high probability to be successful, right? So anyways, let's go into the charts now with the RSI so I could finally do this stuff. I'd be long and it's that Gemini stuff. So all right, cool. So this is where we break out right here, right? Bull flag. So once we do that, let me see what you're saying, chat. I waited 4 hours to make a 5-minute. Hey, bro, be like that sometimes, bro. You feel me? And make that one count. You know what I'm saying? Drop a bag on her. And I'm saying get out. You feel me? That's what once you realize that, like, let me just throw these little 5,000. Oh damn, it made me a couple hundred. You can get back out. Let me do that again. Oh gosh, that was pretty easy. You know what? I'm done for that. I did that consistently for 2 weeks from just early in the morning. You know what I'm saying? But all right, so long story short, let's keep going with this RSI thing. This is a whole RSI class. So long story short, we break out right here, right? is where, let's just say this is where you entered in at, right? Watch how the price continues to go higher, higher, higher. Look, come over here. And of course, you know, Moody gonna grab the high, but I ain't gonna cheat you now. I'm gonna show you why I'm right though. So look, boom, right? Now the price is even higher if you got in here, right? Boom, now it's starting to aggregate back down, right? Watch this, bounce off the 50, right? It's not breaking above, it's bouncing now, right? So it's trying to hold. That's what you got to think. Bounces are trying to hold price, right? Rejection are trying to reject and lose price for the bulls. So with that being said, we're bouncing, right? Look, boom, where my price at? All right, look, we coming back down. We go all the way to a high, and I'm gonna do that just so you could like really understand it. Delete these. And some people gonna be like, man, those are the highs anyway, Moody. So I'm gonna take you straight to the high when it finally hit, right? Watch when it comes back down to this 50 mark. That's the 50 right here. I ain't cheating you. Nowhere near your entry point, right? Do. This is when this is the put side coming in. Once it loses this, that's why you see this big red candle right there, right? It says 13 cents, but that was the open and close. Right, boom, coming down, right? That's the rejection. This is what a rejection is, right? Boom, test rejection. So you'll be able to, once you start seeing that, you'll be able to see that like this on the chart. I'm gonna go straight to that. I'm gonna go straight to that one rejection. What was that rejection at right here? Right here. Blue candle, blue line. Look at the blue line. It broke out right here. You see the rejection here? Rejection. That's why I teach it a certain way that I teach it. I don't like to teach it as supply and demand and stuff like that. Why? Because it can confuse you. Because supply and demand is almost basically supply and demand is support and resistance, but supply and demand is bigger to the time, bigger for the move, right? Or bigger for it to its time frame, right? But once you learn it like this, like all that falls into play. Like you get the overstanding and you start to see the market structure, right? So it's rejecting, comes back down, hits, comes back up, right? Anything above this, holding, meaning green candles closing above this, goes up. Anything below it goes down, meaning red candles below it. And even if it's green that didn't go above it, it can just like that, it can go down, right? Same thing for the red side. So as you see it coming down, right? Let's go back to that rejection. It was like, where was it? Right here. All right. So you see that rejection? That's what a rejection is, right? And that's why it came back down. That was his rejection area. But remember, even where price rejects is at, that's going to be entry points. You just got to be able to identify, is it a put entry right now or is it a call entry right now, right? You was able to see like when I traded live before the market opened, this is the levels I want, where I want to enter in at and things of that nature, right? And it was just because it was the opening price of the daily, forget that. It was the opening price of the monthly candlestick and it correlated with the daily, right? Because those time frames are bigger. And they hold more weight. So coming here, you now turns from a rejection to a call, but the chart patterns, right? The price, I don't even like to say chart patterns, the price action, because once you understand that the patterns are the price action, you don't get confused when you start to read certain things, right? So the price action showed us an inverted head and shoulders off the rip, right? So shoulder, head, shoulder, right? Go to this class if you don't understand that head and shoulders, so you can understand anytime you're inside of a head and shoulders, you're going to be inside of a cup and handle, right? Because that's just what they form, right? Like this would have been a cup and handle and it fell, right? Cup and it fell into the handle. That's why you get your inverted head and shoulders breaking out, and the breakout is always going to be a bull flag. The left starts with bear flags and it goes down. The right to break out, it's going to be bull flags to get out of the pattern, right? So it's like basketball, like layups. Like you fake them this way and you hit that. Gotcha. So boom, that's what happens with that. What I want to explain, this RSI, the uptrend. So let me just delete this because I'm gonna delete everything. So let me just grab it from here, rebounds, come back down, get right here. Let's just say you bought it. I just need to look at the RSI so it doesn't keep playing with me. Yes, it does it around here, right here. All right, so delete all this. This is for the uptrend. And just remember, I'm gonna keep saying it, I'm not gonna stress it enough. I'm on a 1 minute chart, but that's why I did everything on a bigger time frame so you can understand. This works on every single time frame. The 1 minute chart allows me to show you the opportunity, right? It's happening on a bigger time frame as well, but the 1 minute chart is always going to show you that opportunity that you're looking for, right? That's why I always chose to want to learn on a 1 minute chart. But the 1 minute chart can be a detriment to your trading if you stay stuck on it. You just like, you want to learn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, cool. This is how fast the market be moving. And okay, these patterns do present itself and they do like play out this way, you know what I'm saying? Inverted head and shoulders right there. Another one right here, head and shoulders, broke, come back up, inverted head and shoulders inside of the head and shoulders. You just got to be able to see that, right? So, oh, why are you doing that? So where do I want to say we entered in? Right here, this bottom. All right, so we got in, let's say we got in a matter of fact, I don't even want to say we got in right here. We got in at the 50, right? Breaking right there. And we came back down. We entered in on that green candle. Watch this. It's the 50. Look at how your price goes up. Anything over, and like that's why it's beautiful to understand the uptrend and downtrend territory, because now it's wanting to push up, right? Forget about, I'm not gonna tell you to forget about volume. If you like volume, stick with the volume. I'm gonna see the volume on the chart because I know what I'm putting on my chart, right? All these dotted lines, all this means something to me, right? That's why I tell people, don't just have stuff on your chart to just have it. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's like, oh, I do this for this, or I do this for this. I don't care what nobody tells you, and this is just my opinion. I could be wrong. I've only been trading for I'm on my third year, full time, full time, right? I tried myself. Look at, you know how much tickers I have in my watch list. I can't focus on all of those tickers, even if I set alerts. My mind won't, like, it's just too much. You can only really focus on like one. Like when you want to learn for real, one. And even if you want to be you want to be in a game for a long time, like maximum 5. That's a lot, bro. Like, bro, how much money do you have to be throwing around? What do you like? You know what I'm saying? Unless you're, oh, I'm just buying one contract here and there and just do. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take you a while to build that account that way. I'm just gonna be frank. Hurry up and wait is the game, I guess. Laughing out loud. Code. What you mean by code? Santana?
That was in reference for your basketball, saying the layups.
Oh, fast.
I said Kobe.
You feel me? Kobe. But I have to solve. So right here, I got excited because I see what the chart did, right? So we hit a high, right? I'm just gonna go up to this high, right? Get it right here. So it's gonna be this candlestick right here. I'm not even gonna take that red one. Let's take it right there, right? So you got in at the 50. Price took you all the way up to 56 cents from getting in at 20 cents, right? From there, everybody knows spot pays pretty well, right? So long story short, from there, you came back down to your 50. You remember that, right? You came back down to your 50. This is your 50, basically. You got in at your 50, my guy. Before I move any further, does anybody see that? If you don't see it, please let me know so I can like do it a different way or really explain it so you can like see it. All right, cool. Nobody said no, so everybody sees it. All right, cool. And basically what I'm saying is you entered in at the 50, the price came back down to your 50, and the price is nowhere near that entry, right? So with that being said, you come back down when it goes under your 50 right here. That's under your 50. You're still nowhere near your. It's because the price pushed up all the way to overbought. So with me explaining that, think of the bigger time frame now. We went overbought. We got to come back down. Got to come back down. The price needs to go all the way back down here, right? And when it went back down near after that big run that took you all the way up there, right? And I didn't even grab this run, right? Because it went all the way right here on this one. When the price came back and finally broke the 50 and stood under it, this overstand, it had to break the 50 and go up. Like if you had to like breathe and you're underwater to go further down. You know what I'm saying? It's good. Like for puts, it's gonna always do that and always do that. For calls, you will only see that happen a few times, and that's for it to pull back. It pull back and look at how the price came all the way back down there to your entry point, all the way here, and look where your price went back from being down here, down there. Remember, you got in down here. The price was down. You got in at the 50. Look at when the price was all the way down here, not at the overbought, all the way down here. Look at the price now when it's right here, right? Let me delete this so it doesn't confuse you because I ain't have it up there, right? Drop down here, that's that price. Breaks the 50, this is the 50 right here. So it's basically this line, right? Breaks the 50, takes you, it didn't even go over bought. If it wouldn't went over bought, you would have broke all highs, my guy. So with that being said, now watch this. I'm gonna just move it slow. Just look at your RSI. See how it just changed and it's pushing down? Look at your RSI. 3. See that? Now majority of them are gonna stay the same from here. Watch this. See that? That's more room to go down if you're bearish. And if you believe that the market is gonna go down, it's more room to go up. After it goes down, yeah, it can go up to reject, but calls are going to come in. And if the bulls are ready to push prices back up, they're going to push it up. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, with me explaining it like that, going down to your hour, you feel me? That all this movement right here is what you saw on the RSI going up, down, and finally came back down. What's going to be beautiful about tomorrow is that we got a major, like, let's just go look at it. Man, this class was pretty long, so I'm gonna do like 3 parts to it so I could talk about other sectors and do the swings. But I'll probably just do pop-up classes like throughout this week. So it doesn't drag out to be till next week since I have a plan. But yeah, we're gonna have bro, you can see it on the chart right now. Like this was the drop, like because of earnings. You don't see the bulls, market open up, it drops some more, boom, hold. Look, the bounce. This is the daily opening. That's your opening price. That's why the D's right there, right? Bounce off the daily, boom, boom, boom. All it could do is take out some liquidity. That's about it. Take out liquidity. The market's not gonna really move that much. Come like about right here. And the reason it bounced from right there, always remember my strategy, bodies of the candlestick, support and resistance, my guy. Support and resistance, bodies, right? Don't look at the wicks. The wicks is now you see me, now you don't. It's truly nothing there. It's just saying that the train passed by, but you didn't see the train. But you see all the trains at the train station, not with the train dock, and they're all parked out. You know what I'm saying? That's where the money's laying at. You know what I'm saying? Not on the routes. Everybody already got in and out, pay their money, in and out, in and out. But if you own the trains, the body of the candlestick, you shall make money. Yup, perfect bounce off the fib. So, all right, y'all understand all of that, right? So now let's just, this is what I'll be doing. Now y'all gonna be like, dang, Moody. I don't be doing what everybody, I used to do all of that stuff when I first started trading, where it's like, bro, I got trading journals out the ass. Writing down my strategy, looking at charting up my charts. This is what I want to do. Da, 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 da. I don't have to do that anymore because I put in the work to understand what I'm doing and what these candlesticks are doing, that I can just literally just be like, all right, cool. I'm on an hour. Sometimes I like to be on an hour to the 4 hour. This one, shooting XLE up. So let me start explaining let me explain it like this. This is why I said I want to do another class, is because my energy is running low and I know it's about to be almost 11 o'clock. I will move this. When I start looking at the market, I go straight to the sectors. Where are you? I go straight to my sectors, and I already know. So I'm gonna just show you. You see energy? Look at this. Right? It's bouncing and it's gonna go up. I'm gonna just put it on the 4 hour because I love the 4. I love the 4 and I love the 6 and I love the 12. Super over. So when I see it like this, I'm automatically gonna go down to a lower time frame. We just saw the hour. I just want to check the 30, see that bounce. Like crazy. It didn't even bounce. It broke 50 and now it's shooting up. Right? Some people are gonna get scared, like, yo, head and shoulders. I don't even look at all that. I'd be like, somebody tell me head and shoulders, I'd be like, inverse cup and handle. Because all that shit gone. You know what I'm saying? Your neckline is right here. They already did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the head and shoulders is going to come about, it's going to come about after the fact. You know what I'm saying? After that one move that we would love to see a big full candle, but it would be a wick all the way back down. But guess what? Some people rode that move and took profits all the way up there and took profits coming back down, and then boom, came down and then did that. Right? So it's always about knowing that it's subjective and knowing how to play throughout the patterns, right? Because this is bull flagging, right? There's no reason to look at the head and shoulders right now. Look at the head and shoulders if it closed like this and it was going down. Now it's like, all right, we might need to look at that, right? But I also see how it broke the 50 and it's going back up. So it's definitely on an uptrend. And I meant to go to the 30, but that was that. So with that being said right here, this is what you see right here on the hour, that little bounce right here. Like boom, that's that run up. But it needed that pullback. You get it? The smaller time frame needed a hold on, we about to go below water. Just to go up higher. You need to experience lows to experience a new high, right? Not saying that you're going to experience a lower low that you just had, right? Just that you need to experience that low, learn those lessons, endure the pain, be disciplined, to experience those new highs, so you can be grateful up there and take those profits. Because if you're not, you're just gonna get greedy and do like, oh, that, and it's gonna go back down. You're gonna be like, oh shit, I stayed drowning. You know what I'm saying? So it's just the way my mind operates and it thinks about the shit. So long story short, excuse my language, XLE. So what I want to tell you is, where is the money going? That's what I care about. Where is the money about to go? Why? Because we know where the money's at. Money's right here. XOK. That's where the money at. Why do I say that? Let's get off this time frame. Let's go to the daily. So remember, all of the smaller ones are intraday, right? XLK. Maybe it was a different one. Was it XLF? But I know for a fact XLK should be coming down. Hold on. Forgot what time frame I was looking at. Could have been a weekly. There it is. My bad. My apologies. So this is why I know XLK needs to come down. It's going to break some all-time highs, because when it's here, it's going to do that. But what I feel like is that most people that miss the train with tech stocks, they're trying to buy into them shits now, because they see like, well, no, it is still pushing up. It's going back down. Oh no, it's going even up higher. This is not the time to buy tech stocks. The market is going to reverse. The market is due for a correction, right? I wouldn't say like a hard, crazy correction, but it's due for a correction after this nice run. You know what I'm saying? We broke the 400s. We're going to break all-time highs, but it's going to be due for that correction. And you have to think about, where's all that profits? It's not that people are running away from NVIDIA. They're going to go right back in and buy back up NVIDIA, AMD, even like CAT, AMD, CAT, NVIDIA, chip. I'm going to put it like this: chips, that chip stocks, AI stocks, or not even AI stocks, companies that have integrated AI into their business, and it is doing very well, such as Meta, right? That's why Meta took the hit that they took. People don't understand it. It was due to the fact that they changed their name from Facebook to Meta, right? It's like everybody knows Drake. If Drake changed his name, that's detrimental to his brand, right? You're not just going to go, let's say he changed his name to Blue, right? You're not just going to go listen to Blue records. You're going to listen to Drake records until Blue shows you that he's better than Drake or something of that nature. Because you're programmed to that. That's his brand. Blue's going to be something different, right? So Meta did that because they're integrating the metaverse, right? Hint to their name. So with them integrating the metaverse, people thinking that this is something new. Augmented reality, VR, AR, all of that stuff isn't new. It's been here for a very long time. It's now that, hey, we have trained people to be able to use these things. Let's see if they're ready for it now. What do I mean by that? You have Instagram, you have Snapchat, right? You see all those filters, all those things, AIs, editing things, all that is that in just small little pieces where it's like, hey, you like this? Okay, cool. All right, cool. You like this? All right, so in due time, you are going to like this, even though you didn't like when I first showed you, because I'm breaking everything down that this can do for you and make your life easier or whatever the case may be, right? So with them doing that, they was a household name, right? They losing that, they have to rebrand that household name, right? People still, like to this day, we still say Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. Oh, yo, you seen what Facebook did? Right? We don't say Meta, right? That's why it's even Meta on here, right? So people, because it takes time for that, right? So with that being said, is also with them taking a lot of their budget and a lot of the profits and things that they were a lot of their gains and putting it into AI, putting it into, incorporate things of that nature, right? So when people hear this, like last year and things of that nature, they don't like that. So you see a bad reaction to the market. You know what I'm saying? What happens right then and there is that hedge funds, like professionals, people that know certain things, and it's like, no, we buy at these levels because this is a demand level. We don't care if the price goes down a little under or whatever. We buy here because this is a demand level. They're going to be looking to buy, and those people are going to push that price up even higher, right? Why? Because you got to think about it. We're trading options. Those are shares. You know what I'm saying? Options is liquid. You're in and out of them and things of that nature. Yeah, there's money into the option, into the stock. Yeah, da 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 da. But not everybody is leaping. You know what I'm saying? So it's about the shareholders and things of that nature. So I think that makes sense. But does it make sense? I always need to ask. So before I move a little forward on XLK, drop a no in the chat if it doesn't make sense. So XLK needs to put money somewhere. Where are they going to put this money at, right? So when I start to look at things of that nature, right, keep it on the weekly, I'm looking at my RSI. Where are they going to put the money at? They already been putting the money there. Makes sense. All right, bet. So where are they going to put the money at? You see this? Look, let me go back to XLK. So, and I'm gonna go to different ones so you can see. These are the sectors, right? We're overbought. Hey, pull back. It could go back overbought, but you test the times. Like, don't feel like this is always gonna happen, right? It has to pull back, right? So with us knowing that, it has to pull back. They have to put money in somewhere else. The money is always circulating, right? And with me even saying that, right? Like, because I know people always like the mindset things. It's like one thing I program myself to do is like, there's certain words I don't like spend. I don't spend money. You know what I'm saying? I pay bills. I pay bills and my money always circulates back to me. Why? Because circulate always means that it returns back to you, right? So I'm always manifesting. I'm always speaking life into myself or speaking things that I desire, right? So when you spend something, that's like you giving it away. Like you don't have it anymore. It doesn't return. It's dead. It's like So if you spend money, you can't get it back. You have to go work hard again for it, right? So if you circulate money, it shall always come back to you, right? No is why I keep the ocean. I am the bank, river bank. So long story short, XLK, where they're going to be putting the money at, right? So we'll go to XLE, energy. Why? Because I'm an energy guy, and I've been telling y'all, hey, they put in energy, solar panels everywhere, clean energy everywhere. Look at the cars. You know what I'm saying? It's not, you could just think about Tesla, but this the blue guy, what's his name? Mr. Biden, that guy, he wants what, by 2024, or I forgot the year already. By 2025, he wants like over 50% of vehicles on American soil to be electric. Come on now. So what do you think is going on? Let's push price up higher. We have inflations, but you're gonna get caught with just, oh, it's just inflation, just inflation. No, it's a bigger game to it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna push up inflation. Yeah, they printed all this money that has never been printed that much, right? In years, but you have to understand, why are they doing this? What is their agenda? They already told you their agenda, right? They want a smart world, basically, a digital world. And not only that, they want the digital world, the car is digital, they want electric cars, right? So what happens there? They push price up higher. You've been thinking that gas is going to go down. It's been going down. It's been doing the charts. You're bullish, and going right back up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it settled down just a tad bit, but just a tad bit and went back up. So what is it now? It's the norm, right? And as long as they do that for, over 12 months or whatever, it becomes the norm for you. Like COVID-19, how long has it been? All that is normal. You still see people wearing masks and things of that nature, right? You can see the programming, right? Right. So with us overstanding that, my bad, I just lost my train of thought. That's why I did that. With us overstanding that is where are they putting this money into, right? They're putting the money into infrastructure. They're putting the money into clean energy. They're putting the money into healthcare. That's where the money's going into. And they're dibbling and dabbling with consumer discretionary. You know what I'm saying? Like things with Home Depot and stuff of that nature, right? Why? Because its growth is going to boost the economy. You know what I'm saying? Consumer discretionary and keeping the popular. My brain is just like, hopefully I'm not talking too fast though. But long story short, XLE is where they're putting in the money, right? And we're gonna save. I'll be with my son all day tomorrow. So Jordan got class on Thursday, so I'm gonna do a part 2 to this class, and I'm gonna do we can go over the sectors, but I'll probably start it off with giving y'all the leaps, right? Because it's gonna be the second of the month, so that y'all can have those entry points and things of that nature. But we'll possibly do class a little bit earlier than 9. So I can give y'all some good energy. But long story short, we go to XLF, right? That's financials. We know that they're putting money back into financials. Why? Because it was a big scare in financials. What do I mean by that? Silicon Valley, all these banks coming, right? All of them falling. What happens after that? Oh no, America's gonna fall down, man. Listen, well, let's not speak like that. But certain things are going to play its course, right? It's nature. Certain things is going to play its course, but it's going to take time to play out that way, right? For the currency to change and everything of that nature, right? And why I say that has been going on for what? 4 years, 5 years, give or take, right? I don't want to go all the way to the start of Bitcoin, but it's been going on for quite some time. And they just formulated BRIC, right? This past year. So long story short, what do I want to get to? Yeah, it was a scare. So whenever you see any type of fear in the market or any type of things of that nature, yeah, I know you heard it 1,000 times, right? But Moody's here to tell you, you buy the fucking market, right? Why? Because the thing is, it took me a minute to like really understand this shit. But you start to do your homework, you start to research, you start to see, oh, no, this is right. Damn, look what happened over here. .com boom, COVID, blah, blah, blah. Man, no, I'm seeing it. This is crazy, man. I missed it. You know what I'm saying? This is what you have to understand. when you hear that, like, yo, when the market is fearful, buy. When the market is greedy, sell. It is 100% true. The reason the individual can't figure that out sometimes is because it's a matrix. You found out the fucking truth now. And you're like, man, that shit cannot be true, bro. I ain't putting my money. Overstand that your money makes you feel some type of way. And you're overstanding that now because you're putting your money in the market. Your money ain't moving like that. So how you treating people and how you acting, it's not clicking yet. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say when you make money, all it does is magnifies who you really are. So like if you're stingy, you're gonna be extremely stingy. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're a jealous person, it doesn't matter you have money, you're gonna be extremely jealous. You're gonna always be spending money on stuff because you're getting jealous that you don't have that. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. That's what and I can tell you that that's true, right? Because I don't need to be on here all day trying to teach this shit, but I'm supposed to help people. So it's just gonna magnify that even more. Like, oh shit, I know about this, I know about that. Let me help you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm always like, yo, ask questions, right? So let's go ahead and look at XLU, right? And just look at your RSI, right? This is utilities. Utilities run with energy, right? So one thing I would tell you, this is a good opportunity to be looking at it, right? To be trying to catch anything coming around this monthly bounce, right? So when we look at that, that's going to be 65.34 and the price is at 66.03. So anything inside of the 65 level, anything inside of the 65 level, that's why you see them wicks and they push back up, right? Means you got to be patient. The thing is, with the strat, I could be like, yeah, I know where price is going and just read the strat and just tell you, right? But if we're just talking about price and like, hey, what to do with it, this is going to be the level that you want to be looking at and buying. Hey, if it travels a little under it, doesn't mean sell. Wait, give it time. That's why you buy time on it, right? That's why it's going to be swings to leaps and things of that nature, right? So we're already seeing SLK and we've seen that they're going to have to take money out of that sector to put into other sectors. Not to say that, oh, those sectors have to go overbought. It's just to rebalance the market, right? So, and this is when you get into like sector rotations, right? And this is when you get into, I just, New York Stock Exchange. I remember when I went there the first time. Right here. This is your heat map, but this is how I even look at my sector rotation, right? Utilities runs with energy. Energy already reversed and started pushing. So that's going to end up pushing and going back up. It just may move slower than energy, right? That's why I'm showing you that, right? But you're going to see certain things, right? Because these had an extremely red day in the market. We've seen what the market did today, right? After the market, the opening bell and the first, I would say like 2 hours of the market, right? We started going back down. I even thought that it was going to go up and didn't, right? So industrials, information technology, right? You can see that tech had the biggest bounce and kept pushing back up, right? Because they have the most money into that sector right now. You have to understand that, right? They're going crazy on NVIDIA. And it's not just, oh, there's NVIDIA. It's AI, it's the chips, it's just chips. That's what it is. Everything needs chips. You got people out here that want to put chips in their brains and shit, you know? So it's a high demand for chips out here. Bro, I'm funny, bro. There's a high demand for chips out here, people. So, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? And everything that we seeing right here, they all need chips. Everything, even Uber is like, come on, man, they gotta come pick you up. Beep, beep. Your phone, everything you get it now is a digital world. That's why you're seeing these things blow up. So when you see these things pull right back down, buy them up again. Right. But Moody gonna give you the levels. So this is how I look at the sector rotation, right? Usually always the last 3 sectors are the ones that's going to flip the first 3 sectors, right? That's just like a thumb rule, right? Sometimes that's not the case, right? Maybe 1 or 2 of them would do it, right? So me just looking at this order, healthcare and consumer discretionary, 9 times out of 10 to do it, right? And you could click these things, right? And that's how I have things on my watch list, right? For anybody that's new on here, right? Like I just click consumer discretionary, right? Once it opens up, give it a second. Right, you're gonna be able to scroll down. You're gonna be able to see all, not the components, but all the stocks that are inside of here, right? And you can choose, it's trying to load up right now, give it a second. You want to see all the stocks that are inside of consumer discretionary, right? Like advanced auto parts, APP, things of that nature. When it finishes loading up, they'll all be there, right? But long story short, let's go back to the chart. I think that makes sense though. Let me go to the chart. They've already started putting chips into the brains. That's true. I think something about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, they put it in the brain, so it bypasses the spine and goes straight to the limbs.
Yeah, I seen like it. I don't want to badger the terminology, but it was someone that could barely talk or something like that, and it was speaking like through that. I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
It's crazy, man, and amazing at the same time.
It's amazing, but crazy at the same time. Yeah. Who's smarter, me or them? Them or me?
Right.
Who are they? All right, so healthcare. Let me stop, man. Healthcare, like always being different. Healthcare, like always being different. If I'm over that, healthcare, like always being different. XLV showing possible bullish reversal. We're gonna go check her out, baby. You know that. We're gonna check her out, baby. All right, so let's go straight to that one, right? Health, baby. So healthcare gonna boom. Why is healthcare gonna boom, y'all? Why healthcare booming? I want to see if people funny like me. You know what I'm saying? Santa, why is healthcare booming? Appreciate you, Tracy. Why healthcare booming? Why Johnson & Johnson booming? They ain't even trying to
I
sell.
think it moves with tech though.
What
It's
moves?
funny that it moves with tech's a QQQ though.
You said Q. Wait, I'm lost. Go ahead, say it again.
Right, but Moderna, for example, right? I've seen some correlation, not all the time with QQQ and its tech.
Oh,
You
okay.
know, when it comes with biotechs and stuff like that, sometimes it has a little bit of correlation.
Yeah, and don't let nobody tell you otherwise. I haven't seen it because I don't look for that. You know what I'm saying? But don't let nobody tell you otherwise. That's something that you're able to see. Not everybody sees the same thing. Right. But nah, yeah, that's fire. I'm saying healthcare booming, man. 'Cause they out here trying to, you know what I'm saying, hey bro, I got this stuff for you. Your hair hurt? Man, come get
They're brewing some overseas. You know, there's going to be some scam damage coming up.
you know what I'm saying? They don't want, let me go ahead and eat me a cookie. It's plant-based though. You feel me? Your hair hurt. You can take some sea moss. It'll take it away. Not everybody know that though. Sea moss is extremely cheap. One thing I'll tell y'all too about sea moss, don't buy it from people. Like if you're trying to get into it and it's your first time buying it, buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, okay, cool. Make it yourself. It's so easy. I'm talking about it's easier than making plátanos mango. Oh, well, not everybody knows what mango is. It's easier than making eggs. You know how you just crack the egg and boom, salt and vinegar and all that stuff? You just literally clean your sea moss. Clean it again. Put it in some alkaline water. Grab I put 2 limes in it because I don't like the taste of sea moss, just so it can give me not such a bitter taste, but I still don't taste the sea moss because I mix my sea moss in anything like slushies, beans, anything I want to eat, I just mix it in it. And just don't put that much. And understand when you start getting on sea moss, it's going to give you a lot of energy. You can see how long I've been on this class. It's going to give you a lot of energy. And it also takes away your appetite where you don't desire food that much. But yeah, sea moss is really great for you. End of the lawsuit. Hold on. What lawsuit? What Moody say? I ain't seen nothing crazy. Man, let me stop recording this. Zaytoven, brother, you scaring me. I used to make sea moss all the time. Yes, sir. Yeah, my wife makes it. I mix it with mango. Man, I need to try that, bro. I need to try it. I've been skeptical on like mixing it with like strawberries or anything because it cuts the expiration time for it. Are you going back to bar chart sectors? Which one is? Wow, what's up?
You was about to show us something on bar charts, but you know it was loading. You were going to the one of the sectors, and you was going to tell us about that.
Now
I was going to say something about.
I was just saying this is how I create my watch list. I go in the sector.
Okay.
That's why if you go in here, like if you go into my watch list, you'll always see APP in there, see Amazon. I may have AutoZone. No, I don't have AutoZone because I don't know that ticker, AZO. BBY is on there. Of course this is on there. I think I did a class on there anyways on this stock right here. It's Warren Buffett stock. This is where you could just park money at. You can swing shares and stuff. It's not even about swinging shares. You are, because the next day if you buy it one day. But you could just literally park your money here, bro. Like literally just park your money here on a super red day, and it's super red, just park your money there. I promise you, bro. This thing moves like, look, $56. It moves crazy. But that's like extra money that you may have, right? Like, because you don't, what you got to understand about this is that there's so many different strategies and so many different things that you can do, right? But you have to remind yourself, how much money do I have? How much money do I have to play this investing game, right? And I will always tell people, like, you know, you want to buy, like, even before I got into options, I was already investing in the shares, right? Stocks itself, right? That's the game. You want to buy shares, right? And you know, option traders utilize their option capital and profits and house money to buy more shares, right? Yeah, to live your life, but also to buy more shares. Just in case of anything, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I've been now telling people, and it's just because it's my growth and my experience. Like, all right, now, like I tell people, you want to buy some commodities now, right? And not only in stocks, but you know, you want to have gold, right? Not like gold to just wear and stuff like that, but you want to have gold, you want to have silver, you want to have certain things. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like Ford, eBay, like Domino's Pizza. It's how I found out about all this stuff. Like CMG, I found out through Kwame, right? With me and him just being cool and stuff like that, and just growing together. He put me on there. He put me on CMG. But like Home Depot, that's how, like, I know what stocks are, what sector they're in, because they're like, look, it's no cap. It's just how I do everything. This is called sectors. All the sectors are going to be in there, right? You can go in here. You start seeing like communication, right? Twitter, Disney, eBay, Facebook, right? It's just I stopped as I was doing it because it's like I kept learning more things and more things and more things, and I already had such a variety of a watch list that I was like, all right, cool. Let me keep doing what I'm doing over here. Let me keep trading, right? You got consumer discretionary. That's what I'm on right now, right? And you just see all of my consumer discretionary, right? And things that I even deem to be in consumer discretionary. Why? Because I'll be like, man, these are like consumer stuff. Like Ultra Beauty is still a healthcare stock, right? Because it's health and beauty, right? But I still deem it to be inside of consumer discretionary as well. But it's just my mind and how I look at stuff, right? Like crypto stocks, crypto energy. Energy is going to be like energy stocks, like anything that's in XLV. I mean, I said XLV, XLE, right? That's how I know about like Oxy and certain things of that nature. So like it just put me in a place where it's like, oh, okay, cool. Let me trade these stocks. Let me look at these. Why? Because I will always look for tickers that were cheap, right? What I mean by that, where the premium were like anywhere between $50 or less, so that I can buy more. And I will like, I'm just fascinated with not anymore. I'm still fascinated with it, but I don't study it like that. But with the Greeks, right? And that's why I tell people, you want to learn the Greeks, you want to learn Greeks, all these motherfuckers gonna talk to you about percentages. None of that shit matters. You know what I'm saying? If you learn the Greeks, you're gonna get it. You're gonna understand. You're gonna, okay, oh, I'm on social media and I just seen this person with $100,000 or $50,000 or this or that. All right, you're not gonna catch FOMO no more. Why? Because they're telling you they bought that and they did this and they did that. But how much money did they put behind that to be able to make that money? You know what I'm saying? It's easy to put $30,000 behind a trade and make $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, $3,000 off of what, 30% move, 25% move, even 10% move buying the correct Greeks. You know what I'm saying? So like once you know that, it's like, oh, okay, cool. All right. I ain't gonna, that's why I don't like to show profits, because if I show profits, it's going to give you FOMO. I remember when I used to start like seeing the profits that I make now, it gave me FOMO. And I was like, damn, when can I be able to make over $1,000 a day or make this, right? It took me time, but I had to be able to appreciate the $100 a day, $200 a day, $300 a day, the $80 a day, right? And what I mean to appreciate it was like, man, I did good, took a great trade, man. I appreciate it. I'll get back at it tomorrow if I find the swing, or if somebody in the Discord puts it out, I'm gonna grab it, right? In my beginning stages. So that helped me, where that's why I tell people like, yo, you gotta take a week without trading. Why? Because you haven't done it yet, and you don't even know who you are yet. You think you know who you are, but tell yourself you're not going to trade and see how you see that animal that comes out tomorrow, and see how you disrespect yourself, and see how you don't discipline yourself. You'll give yourself an excuse. Physically, mentally, you abuse yourself. Man, I'm like, fuck that shit. I'm about to trade right now. Why are you telling yourself that? You just told you gave yourself a plan yesterday. You forgot? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's just, it takes time, to like, to grow and just remember, the clues that you gave yourself for tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna have different emotions. And that's why they say, like, when you rise up out of your bed, what are you gonna do first? Are you gonna be grateful, be thankful? Are you gonna say some affirmations to yourself? Or are you gonna grab that phone? You're gonna go brush your teeth and rush to go to work. You know what I'm saying? You're still gonna go to work. You're still gonna have to do that. You're still gonna have to grab your phone, but are you gonna be disciplined enough? Like, hey, I rose up. Let me meditate. Let me be with self. Let me thank myself. Like, man, you the shit. I go to the mirror every single time I rise up. Like, bro, you made it back. Look, back intact. And look at you looking all sexy. Like, man, you abundant. You know what I'm saying? So I don't forget. Because it's easy to forget who you are. It doesn't have a taste. I take it in the morning by a spoon. Ugh, you like my wife. So I'm like, don't have a taste, man. You not from this place. You from somewhere else. I'm like, it don't taste like nothing. Bro, water don't taste like nothing. And water still got a taste. But nah, I feel you though. I feel you. My wife is the same way. She could just eat it like that. She drinks this other stuff called the Answer, where it's like really great for your immune system. So much other stuff that I don't know about, but it stinks. It's just horrible and it tastes nasty. I tried it a couple times, but it's like root and a whole bunch of other like good stuff for you. Listening to your advice on the Greeks helped me turn a corner. That's what's up, bro. I'm already knowing, Stevie. That's what's up, baby. But yeah, that's what I was gonna do on bar charts. If y'all got any questions, like feel free to just dump them away. I'm gonna be jumping off here after 11:11. A little after 11:11. Let me say it that way so y'all can know. Do you remember that big opiate lawsuit? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. It's news, bro. Unless it's like,
No, my bad, Moody. Hey, no, listen. I forgot was it Purdue? It was some pill company. It was this big ass lawsuit, this opioid lawsuit, and they sued like for all the pills, and codeine pills, and all that crap. This happened like I think this like two years ago. It started. 3 years ago it started. Maybe last year they might have settled.
mm-hmm. I don't know, bro. They need to be in the lawsuit. Let my people go.
Was that with like the different, like the CVS and the Walgreens, a combination of all the different,
Yeah. That joint.
Nah,
Back when I was watching the news. My bad. I'm sorry.
nah, you good, bro. You please carry on. Miss Maya over here helping you. You know what I'm saying? She's like, Moody fumbled the bag. You don't remember that? Nah, bro. He talking about opioids, oxy. Nah. I just be, bro, look, even when I trade stocks sometimes, bro, I don't even be want to trade certain things, bro. When I know certain things, I just be like, it's just but yeah, it's just I'm in this full time. So like when I get bored, I do look up some companies, but that was like back then, and I just like, dang, they foul. I don't like you no more. You know what I'm saying? But one of my favorite things to do is like if I want an Apple product, I go trade Apple. If I want to go buy some clothes from Macy's, I go trade Macy's, things of that. Like I find joy out of that, you know. And then I just go buy clearance stuff for like stuff on sale. And then I just feel like I'm just double the savings. It was free, plus I got paid. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? And then if you use a credit card, I don't know, man. Life is beautiful. But yeah, y'all got any questions? I'll do it tomorrow. I'm gonna do the lead class part 2. And now that y'all understand what I'm looking at on the RSI and how I'm utilizing on every time frame, I'll just quickly just go over like, hey, this is like this how easy it is. Like calls. This is a put, but one thing about this level is that that's your that's it. You can want to go lower, but it ain't gonna go lower right now. You know what I'm saying? This will have to go higher to go lower. Things of that nature. Some people look at this as a bear flag. It's definitely not a bear flag. You know why? Because this is the pole drops, right? This would have been a bear flag right there. No more bear flag, right? You can look at this like, oh, well, it's consolidating like bear flagging, but it's inside of this range already, right? If it would have stood below this range inside of that wick, I would have deemed it still to be a bear flag to a higher time frame. Yes, but there's no bear flag. But that's how like easy it is, like how I trade, right? And for the people that possibly are here that hasn't seen me trade or took in a trade idea or a trade that I was in and I put out and things of that nature, I just don't sit around and brag. It'd be that easy, but I barely miss. It's gonna hit. You know what I'm saying? Like here, I'll talk about this. So, MDT, we're swinging this bad boy. Right, and easy on my alerts. Beep, get out, Moody, get some profits. So I was talking on like the 3 hour, I believe. Was it there? It could have been like the 6. I think it was the 6 hour. Or was it the 5 hour? It was 5 hour. Yeah, it was 5 hour. I remember the price action. Right, because I was saying that I'm looking for a 3-2, right? that's what I will be looking for on a 6-hour time frame as well now. Right. So everything that I said played out, right? We're just waiting for the moves to happen now. Meaning this is the 3 for the 5-hour time frame. We triggered the 2 up right there, 3, 2, right? And everything else traveled how I would like to see it, right? And we're on the bottom of a downtrend. All that it is just like it's reversing, right? When trading, I think like the most important things about trading is just like knowing the trend and knowing the reversal points, right? Like everything else is kind of cool to like know like the bull flags, bear flags, and stuff like that, and knowing how to trade them, stuff like that. Like it's just getting deeper into their craft, right? And understanding it. But the most important things is like, say like the strat, you got the 1, the 2 bar, and the 3 bar, right? There's only 3 things that the market is going to do: consolidate, uptrend, or downtrend. 2 up or 2 down, right? Those are the 3 things that the market can do. So when putting all that together and say you're leaving the strat or you don't know about the strat, there's only 3 things that the market is going to do: uptrend, downtrend, or consolidation, right? So after the downtrend is either going to consolidate and continue the downtrend, or is either going to consolidate and reverse, right? So points of reversals are like my edge, right? The RSI, points of reversals, because that's what I like to look for. Yeah, that's the best thing I can say. And as you see, even on the hour, the last one went 2 down. That's not bothering me at all, meaning that this went 2 down. Why? Because we triggered 2 up on the higher time frame. From the 3, 2 up on the 5-hour, all of this is just consolidation, right? It's just subjective. It doesn't have that much more time. And these stocks like this are the stocks that you want to learn to trade, right? Why do I say that? Because they move extremely slow, right? And you'll be able to like overstand it. Even like when I was on the 1 minute and we were looking at the breakout, right? You can see how long it took for the breakout and how it came right back to its breakout. You know what I'm saying? From it being overbought. Let me see if I can find that price action.
They dropped a little bit after hours with everything else.
Mm-hmm.
But it should come back.
Yeah, man. Yeah, sure. I ain't worried about it. Not at all. Where was it though? It was like around 3 or something. I forgot. I've been looking at candlesticks all day. Everything looks the same to me. But I could have sworn it was like around 12 o'clock because it was on Jordan's live. But it could have been like towards the end of 12 o'clock. But I know I was talking about the breakout and it started happening, but this is the breakout right here. Like how you had a rejection here, how I try to break out, come back. This is going to be your breakout area as well. And you can just see it and how it aggregates. So as long as the price stays above that price, you're going to be good. Right. So let me just bring it all the way here. Right. It doesn't matter that it's aggregating down. That's like, say, like Stevie Boy just said, knowing that earnings drug the market down and the big news. And to me, the biggest news, I don't care about market going down. The biggest news is just knowing that they're not trying to push interest rates, whatchamacallit, higher to 2024. Well, not that they won't be cutting, they won't be slowing down. So that's going to keep inflation higher, right? So that's bullish news. You know what I'm saying? Inflation stays around, that's bullish. Inflation is not the problem. I know it seems like it's the problem, but inflation truly isn't the problem. Deflation is the problem. You know, like, oh, everything blew up. You know what I'm saying? Once you lose demand for certain things and stuff like that, you know what I mean? That's why there was not enough PS5s, right? There was more than enough PS5s, but they create the supply and demand. You know what I'm saying? Yes, some chips had to go for different things, right? But regardless of the fact, if they want to push that industry higher, they have to create the demand for it. You're always gonna, it's infinite supply. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Even food is free. We create food. It's like saying, like, making kids are free, not like getting charged for it and the things that we go through, but that's free. Growing an apple is free. You know what I'm saying? So once you understand that, you understand, no, you're the one that's setting that up. You know what I'm saying? So if you can endure the pain, you shall always be successful. But yeah, man, I'm tired. I'm in that one. Oh, that's what's up. That was up. Yeah, I'm tired, so I'm gonna go call it a night, y'all. Hold on, let me down.